morning. Good morning. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, AncestryLands.com. Daylight savings time's in effect, folks. Come to you angry. I come to vent on this video. At some point, a father does have a place. At some point, a father, the father's authority is the authority. And it happens when you submit or subvert your authority. And so does a mother. This is not just a total dad thing, but you as a parent have authority when you are directing your children. I had an incident over the weekend. My daughter had a softball game, which I've coached on odd ins and outs. And the coach and I were very, we talk, we email, things like that. I mean, we're not close, but he knows who I am. I know he is. We shake each other's hand. He inquires about my daughter getting on certain teams, but you got to be careful with people looking to subvert your parental authority. It has nothing to do with the coach. My daughter, in the last few innings of her softball game, the coaches, and I keep trying to tell my daughter this, as kids get older, you have to talk to your children about the fact that they are being watched and assessed. When you have children, parents are looking at your children. They're looking at the way you raise. They're looking at whether you own a house and whether apartment, where you live, if you own an apartment, what your wife looks like, how you look. How does your daughter or son present? And they're going to make calculations upon whether or not they should integrate with you on a whole. We've experienced that in our neighborhood here where we live at, because our neighborhood is heavily populated with Indian, Eastern Indian from India, the country India, neighbors. And when we first moved into the neighborhood, although we are a interracial relationship, a husband and wife, people still needed time to assess whether we were people that could, orbit around their central culture. And as my daughter is the only biracial child on the team, the only person of actual color on the team, you do have to be aware of, as a parent, about the Karens out there. And that you are in a different culture. And I have to constantly tell my wife this, because my wife is Caucasian, so she doesn't get it. She doesn't perceive things from the Black perspective, nor do I need her to. It is not her goal or journey to be educated in Blackness. I don't need her to understand that. She will never understand it, and that's not an expectation of it. She's white, and that's all right. It is my job to educate my children and or defend them from the subversion that is the Karen. My daughter is, at the end of the game, she is going to take off her catcher's gear. I am assisting her in taking off her catcher's gear. And she proceeds to take it all off and throw it directly right on top of the bag that the catcher's gear goes into. I say, hey, put the gear in the bag, game's over. My daughter proceeds to do it, and this woman out of fucking nowhere, who should be minding her own goddamn business, says, oh, she don't have to do that. I got it. My daughter, I pause for a second, because again, I'm seeing if my daughter is following her father's instruction, or is she about to lead herself to destruction? Now, the coach sees me doing this. I'm helping out. That's what he likes. I always ask the coach, hey, anytime you need me to help out, let me know. So sometimes the coaches aren't helping her getting her gear up. I go help get her geared up. This happens, and many parents do chip in to help with getting the kids ready, because catcher's gear, it takes a little time. This is a little league softball team. They don't have equipment staff and bat boys like the, Philadelphia Phillies do. So, again, I'm looking at my daughter to see what she does, and she hears that and just goes off. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, ma'am, I told her to put it in the bag. Now, it's not like she got to walk 40 feet. All she's got to do is lift the flap up and put the things inside that she's throwing directly on top. And the coach comes over. He's like, well, she's running behind. She's got to go last because they have a relay race at the end. And I stopped my daughter and I said, hey, did you hear me tell you to put that in that bag? She goes, yes, Dad. So I'm telling myself, we have here a problem that will become more of a problem in the future. Because it doesn't matter if it, what we see here is an example of my instruction is overwritten by a stranger's instruction who has no power, no authority in this situation. They are lateral to me, but I am talking to my child, not their child. Because if the roles were reversed, I would simply go to the mom, hey, would you like me to do that, so she can get out there and do that as a fucking courtesy to the parent. And once I told her, I said, ma'am, I told her to do that. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hear you. That's the usual Karen bullshit, man. All the time. I didn't hear you. She's standing 2 feet away from me. I'm not talking in any kind of tone that is toned down where she could not hear what was going on. She decided to insert herself instead of shutting the fuck up. And I'm trying to teach my children that minding your own business will save your life. Staying out of other people's situations will save your life at times in this world. It doesn't mean your life is in danger, but it will save you from situations that had you just continued to mosey on alone, you'd have been just fine and dandy. Now you're going to get that. So I have two choices now. I could proceed to go and become more irate about the fact of this woman interceding herself in something that is none of her goddamn business. Because when it's the other way around, when the parents are talking to their children, I mind my own business. And I didn't say it disrespectfully. I didn't cause a scene because that's what they're looking for. News headline, black dad curses out white mom over a catcher skier. And that's not what the story is really about. The fact is that my daughter is bending to your instruction, leading to her destruction. Because as a father, I now have to remind her who she goes home with at the end of the day. So as the game is over and we're sitting in a parking lot, she's putting her gear in the trunk and all the parents are pulling out. And it just so happens this mom is sitting right next to me parked and getting her kid in the car. No eye contact. I'm looking directly at her. She can feel my gaze. And I tell my daughter, you see that woman right there getting in the car with her daughter? Now she's going home with her daughter to her family and you coming home with me. So when you decide that I'm not who you're going to listen to because someone else is going to subvert that, she needs to save you when you get home. She needs to be there for you later on in life. And that is the problem with these false people going around acting like they are coming to help save when they are literally coming to disrupt. And it's the job of a parent. Now, if my wife was there, she should take when it's two white women, she should take the same action. So it's not a black versus white thing. You as a parent are giving your child instruction. Now, if it was the coach, something different. But the coach never interceded on that. I said, you cannot simply put back something you are using. The coach brought it here. All they're doing is a relay race. Now, if she had taken a little time to stop talking at the end of the game, she would have been able to put that gear up and be first. But she's trying to hold everyone to secure a position to be first in the relay race instead of getting her gear off, which she has to do anyway. Too much talking. But the point is, even as a father, you give up your power when you don't speak up. And it will work the same way when you're a mother and you're on a team and another mother's doing it to you. Because they'll do it to each other. And what the child is now hearing is that your authority can be subverted by someone who has no authority. It's not like you in school and your child's in school and it's a teacher. It's an instructor. It's the coach. That's something different in a situation where they're in the classroom setting. But outside the classroom setting, teacher has no power over my child. And that's the problem. We are not checking people at the door. Now, on the car ride home, and here's the coup de grace here, man. I asked my daughter, I said, hey, you heard me tell you this. Like, why did you stop doing it? Did you not know I was going to get upset or get angry or you were going to be punished for this or reprimanded? Yeah, I did. But I figured the punishment was going to be not severe. So I calculated that I could do it. The word calculated came into her vocabulary. She's making calculations on my disciplinary actions. Now, everything that happened after that is none of y'all goddamn business as a viewer, but the whole point that I'm stopping you at is your children, and my daughter's smart, and I'm very routine, is the fact that, like, I don't let stuff slide with my kids. Like, I check them right at the door. But my point in saying that is that if I am rigid, structured, my child is now developing as a preteen, she's 10, going into 11. As a preteen, they are calculating their manipulation on you as a parent. And if you are not in tune, if you are not aware of what's going on, you will have the teenage problem that most parents see this. One day my child changed and was a different child. No, what they've been doing is letting off little bit by little bit and testing whether they can gain more ground, testing whether they can do certain things, testing their ability to do things and subvert your authority. They're testing your weakness. So when you see a child that is in full blown on a different person, that means that you've let enough go where they are now here to stay. You're not going to get back that child. And what I've had to do is change my daughter's formula for calculating so she no longer has the right computer to calculate. And as a parent, it's super important that you learn this lesson now and take notes from me, because I got 2 more kids coming around the corner to do the same thing. And again, you have to sit down and spend time talking to your children, even when you are disciplining your children, because you need to understand what is the causality that makes them do the things that they do, if they are even aware of it. Some things they're not aware of it, which means that it is not something with intent behind it. But when they can explain to you their intent, when you get that out of them, you understand that now they are making moves with it. They either are thinking about the afterthought, the before and after, and they're saying that it is enough risk for me able to do that. That is the start of intelligence, maturity. And you need to be aware of that to understand that your conversations with your child, now they are looking at your actions and making calculations. For all the people out there who are parents that have young enough children, take heed to what I'm saying. For some parents that already have older children, you might have went through this before. And it's a lesson that you need to learn. And the only way I would have learned it is by sitting down and not reacting to my daughter, but discussing it with her and then reacting later. But I needed to do all my fact finding first, because again, when you get to a certain level of maturity, you're going to inquire about things before you decide to react to them. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, AncestryLands.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can support me and get a holiday gift for you and yours by getting my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing. In the description section below, there is a link to click directly for your purchase, folks. Remember, have a great day. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.